So I've been watching a lot of BCT, a lot of Lotus in particular, because I'm trying to get the best Omen tech possible, and I think I've got it. I watched 3 matches, I saw PRX, I saw Envy, I saw a lot of players play, and here is what I saw most commonly used and what worked the best. So first thing, you grab the spike. I mean, you don't have to always do that, but I don't want to leave it behind. And one of the most commonly done things I saw was just teleporting to the other side here, right? I mean, this sounds obvious, right? And then just peeking from this corner and taking down whoever is over here, because they won't be expecting you to come from there. I mean, maybe they'll aim, maybe. But more than likely, if they're over here, they can't see anything. They're focused on what's in front of them. If they build up all the way over here, they're still fighting this angle right there. And yes, at some point, they will expect someone coming from here. However, that's usually later in the match. If Omen teleports there at the beginning of the match, and especially they didn't see anyone cross, it's more of a why the hell would we even peek over there type of situation. And then after that, a very common route I saw was just opening this door here, fighting who's ever over here, trying to get some shots on the guy over here. Let's say there's nobody there. You push up, you throw your blind right here. Then, throwing the smoke over here. And then just clearing sight, of course. And just planting spike right here. And playing either in this position, so you can throw your blind if you haven't used it. Or play in this position right here. And play dugout. Drop, I meant to say. Dugout's Pearl. And just play in this position, and once you get your smoke again, throw a little one-way over here. If this is especially useful if you have a teammate or even yourself just holding this angle right here, you throw a smoke, you'll be able to see their feet before anybody even comes out. Another very, very common play I saw is you TP over here, and then you smoke right here, right? Play over here, move up. I mean, you clear this area. Let's say there's no one there, and then you just slowly but surely clear this site right here, and then you get a one-on-one fight with this guy, and then you get to fight this guy over here before the smoke disappears. Is very commonly used. It was used so much, actually, that some of the pro players were just inching their way over here with a shorty, and then just like when someone would peek this little smoke. That's how commonly played it was. That was on the defensive side, though, not on the offensive side, of course. Another very, very common smoke I saw was self-smoking right here, and then just moving up, and teleporting right here. You don't actually have to move up here. Sure, I mean, you can just teleport from spawn to here or just move up. You just want to do it as fast as possible. And then since you're in this corner, they're not going to expect you to be in this corner. The guy who's fighting here, the Neon who slid over here, 2 easy shots, get the guy here, swing on this guy here. Now you got everybody on site on lockdown just with that. On to B sites. The most common thing I saw and like the best tech I saw was just off-rip smoking right here. I mean, not off-rip when you do contact. Smoking off here. You don't want to smoke Heaven because I guess this is the only spot they can come from. Plus, if you just move here, Heaven's pretty much no longer an issue unless they walk out. And then it's a more even fight at that point. Sometimes they did smoke Heaven, I'm not gonna lie to you. Usually when they had a second smoke over here, or if they just broke this door right here, and then came from this direction as well, you can smoke Heaven off like this, you know, basic. I remember back in the day, people would smoke it off like this, so they can only come off from one spot or drop from the other spot, kind of like they do on splits. But, let me wait until these smoke drops. But the traditional thing I saw was smoke off right here, and smoke off in front of you right here, and then just teleport right here in this spot. Maybe you don't want to jump there. And now you're in a great spot to take some fights, not against your teammates, actually, my bad. You can swing on this guy who will not be expecting a guy to come from here. You can play on the guy when the smoke drops or whoever comes in. You can fight against Heaven. You can even have the spike implanted yourself. Maybe your own teammate also comes down here and plants. But since only one has been heard to move down or someone's planting, nobody's going to be planting in this spot right here. You can get some shots in, and it's kind of just hard to adjust your crosshair. That's something I noticed. I was like, damn, these pros are pros, but yet they weren't adjusting their crosshair as best as possible. Like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's head is there. You can change what level you're on, and it's harder for you to get hit. moving on to a very, very common used ability was just teleporting over here. This is great for anti-op, because if a chamber is over here, they will probably be holding, I mean, probably, no, certainly, they'll be holding this spot right here. And especially if you guys haven't hit sight yet, just doing that TP, chamber's not going to be like, oh, shit, okay, let's go. Like, this is anti-op tech, and the chance that they just, like, flick and hit that shot is a lot less, I mean, I'm hoping, if you're good enough, a lot less than you just going, like, you know what I mean? One peek and one shot, and then you peek away before he flicks on you. If he flicks on you before that, either you did something wrong or you're playing against the best chamber who's ever touched this game. Another very common thing was just, you know, doing the TP, and then two people peeking at the exact same time. So then the guy that peeked on your side could die, and then you could trade him. That's the strat. Maybe in ranked you won't even get to trade him, because if Omen peeks first, I mean, you know, this is just general tech. If Omen peeks first, Crosshair moves this way, and then the guy over here peeks. And then the guy who's holding this, which could be anybody, let's say Chamber, will have to die, unless you don't hit your shots or whatever. Even if this Omen somehow dies, even though it's not expected, this guy should get the shot in. It's a guaranteed trade, or maybe not even a trade. Maybe just like an easy just kill. And then you have someone just peek at the exact same time over here, get the shot in, get the kill in. The next very common smoke that I hope every smokes users is using is just smoking right here, and then this way you can get onto site without anyone seeing you from the right side of site. They cannot see you. Even if they're holding right here, they can barely see your legs. If you get hit and die, you must have been like on your rank up game or something. A very common thing to have done here is just throw a smoke if people are holding this side with a shotgun, or just in general, just throw the smoke, and then just throwing this smoke right here as well. If you want to get the people that are in this general area holding this, you can just pretty much use this against everything. If there's a guy here, you can just throw your smoke and hit it right here. I'm expecting this to be smoked when I'm saying this, like, okay, shit, this is smoked. Okay, bet. Now the guy's blinded, let's peek. Let's get it. Let's just go. A very common use of the ability was just doing this and then just teleporting back here once they had it smoked, because they won't be expecting you in sight if nobody saw you in sight. And you can get the guy here that will probably more than likely not be there. You can just slide over here and then just get the guy over here that's holding. Now you can get an easy little shot like that. Easy little entry, nothing fancy. Another thing that they did was use the Omen ult to just get a lot of information. Just teleport right here. Okay, no, there's nobody here. Okay, let's push in. Or maybe you stay, but like, let's say there's a guy there. You don't want to just teleport there unless, you know, they're faking. I mean, they could just be like, okay, the guy's behind me, the guy's behind me. Okay, bet. I got you, you know what I mean? You know, up my sense, holy shit. Another very common just holding spot was just throwing a smoke blind through here. You know, if people are coming in, then you can just swing, get a nice little shot in. And then if you get that space right there, you can take even more space by throwing this one right here, and then just fighting this angle that you just created. Moving on to some Omen defense, one of the most common smokes was just throwing a smoke right here, just to hold them off for a second, because they're going to be rushing it with everything they got. And then once you take this position right here, you just throw a little blind, and then you can pretty much swing on them. I mean, expect them to come from here, sure, but let's say the smoke is dropping, or there just isn't a smoke at all. Just starting this game by moving up here as fast as possible, and then just throwing this blind right here. You can swing. Okay, everybody's now dead. You know what I mean? You can throw the smoke right here, and you expect them to peek from here. Pretty much the same principle, but just backwards. You can play high-low with your teammates. I mean, they could come from here, but why would they peek it like that? Another very, very, very common thing I saw was just starting the round by letting that smoke disappear. Smoking this. Clicking. Okay. Clicking this. And then just getting ready to TP right here. I saw Extra do this when he was playing Envy, when he was Envy. I mean, he is Team Envy. He's in the team. I don't know who the hell he was playing. I don't remember. This was like 3 days ago. This is how long I've been working on it. Damn. And then another strategy was just simply teleporting, like, in this position here. And then just, like, if you've already done this smoke and this TP over here, then you can do this TP and nobody's going to be expecting you to be swinging from a different angle. You know what I mean? I'm going to count this as A-side tech, but another very common thing was just holding in this spot, waiting for them to move up, throwing that blind, then just peeking them, getting some shots in, getting rid of everyone. Going back to what I was saying about the defensive thing, maybe you want to smoke this off yourself because they crossed through, and then you just take this spot with a shotgun. They're probably going to come from the edges anyway. They might even expect you here, but get some easy shots in, get out of the way as fast as possible. You should be fine. Worst case scenario, they peek through here. But at least when the smoke dissipates, you will already have an angle on them. Once they are on site, you can throw a little smoke here and a little smoke over here, which is pretty common stuff unless you pushed up and died. Let's say you're like the last line of defense for some reason. You can play like that. And then as well, you can just, throw your blind, hold them back. Something I like to do if it's just me alone with an operator is throw a smoke like this. No, a little farther. Let the smoke disappear. Actually, this works. Have a little smoke like that, and then just hold an angle with an operator. They're probably gonna look up, but at the same time, they'll feel this like sense of comfort since the smoke is there. It's like, okay, well, he can't see me because he smoked this whole way up. He thinks it's smoked like this. Like, there's no chance in hell I'm gonna see that guy. Of course. Something I saw Aspas do with Raze is get up here, and I feel like we can copy that with Omen. Just hug the wall as back as you can. Damn. I got like a pretty nice spot for a second. There we go. Something like this, and then just... You can play high-low with someone who's also heaven. I don't know why. I mean, maybe if you're doing a retake, I don't know why all your team would be dead on main and then you just be alone heaven. Maybe you 5-stack. But there you go. Saw as well is just, setting in this area. I didn't see this blind. This is something I would add myself. But let's say you hear them coming for some reason. Like they just skydogged or, Sova drone. You can throw your blind and then just take some space right here. And if you don't hear anything, you're just smoking that off rip because they're coming through there often. Or maybe you have multiple smokers on your team. Just throw this smoke right here, and then they're actually C-site. You can get a shot like that, and then just, open the gate. This is something I actually did see. Then, this was one of the most common. Everybody used this. Throwing this one-way right here with Omen smoke, and then just holding this angle right here. This was used, like, more than anything Omen related. Like, this is the reason I'm doing this video in general, actually. The fact that this smoke was used so much, because I use chamber on Lotus because I like holding chamber here, but just the idea that I can throw a little smoke here, and now, like, I've heard of this, but I didn't know how, like, common it was used, and now you can just hold this little one-way. This is the most common thing used. It was so common, in fact, that, the opponents started doing a counter smoke to it by throwing this smoke right here, like the C-site user, the C-site agent threw that, and then you just throw a smoke here, and then you peek, and now you are free. Which is another thing that you can use if your opponents are using an operator. Just simply smoke it off completely, so you can get the full way in right here. I don't know why you wouldn't just use it one way, but let's say that it's just like, you just want C-site control. I saw this a lot. They just threw this little smoke, threw it right here, and then everybody would just rip onto site, go get the orb, and then sometimes it was 5-stack C, and the other team was going full A, and they still threw this smoke and just not hidden it, more like just took this control, because you can take this spot right here, and this is like 12% of the map that you're taking. One last thing I saw was just throwing that smoke there yourself, and then just going to grab this orb, and then just playing off it, I guess. I only saw this like once or twice during eco round where you want to save as much money as possible. But, yeah. That is all the Omen tech that I found on watching 3 videos. There's a lot of like mid-round Omen tech that I just didn't see fit to add on this video. One of the most just important things is Omen plays on A site. And this smoke still goes up every time. So let's say you have a Vise on the other side or a chamber. Throw that smoke, make sure it's good, and then you're playing here with your team. Oh shit, they actually went A. Okay, we're good. Do you see what I mean? I actually had this in my notes and completely forgot to add it. So if you made it to the end of the video, there you go. A bonus, very aggressive Omen defensive play. They even do this on pistol round. Not him. I see like Radiance do this on pistol round. Just throw the smoke here by 2 TPs. It might not actually be pistol round. It might be the round after, but still, very early game. You want to get some shots in. There you go. And yeah, that's all I got. Hopefully I upload better and more often. And here you go. Here is your full Omen guide. You want to be playing on A sites. That's the main takeaway.